want to welcome everyone to this presentation of Consciousness Ascending. It is Friday, October the 17th, 2025, and we are excited to be here. My name is Benny Ferguson, a channel of non-physical collective known as Abraham. And again, we're excited to be here. We're excited for the opportunity to be of support. We're thankful for each of you who are here with your energies, with your frequencies, supporting in the creation of this interaction. We're thankful for those of you who have found this recording and allowed us to be of support in that manner. If you're new and you find value, be sure to subscribe. Check the description for ways that you can connect with us deeper. Our goal is not just to support you, but to accelerate the process of your growth and expansion so that you can begin to live life free of fear, freely expressed as your most authentic self in source, with the ability to follow your inspirations without hesitation. That's the goal. Today we're talking about authentic expression, or the topic is authentic expression is rare. The flower is a perfect example of expression. Authentic expression is rare. The flower is a perfect example of authenticity. The reason authentic expression is rare is because of the conditioning. Conditioning is inescapable. It is present on your plane of existence. It is steeped most often in low vibration, and most are not their authentic self. They are a version of the environment of which they were born into. That's most. Now, some are expressing their authenticity at a greater clip, with a greater propensity than others, but most are deep in conditioned to who they think they should be around other people and amongst society, conditioned to what they believe success is for themselves, conditioned to a level of health and well-being that's inescapable until they realize their truth, conditioned to a certain type of experience when it comes to relationships, whether it's familial or intimate, conditioned to a level of experience when it comes to abundance of desired and abundance of undesired. Everyone is conditioned. The conditioning begins before you're even born. The conditioning begins when you are in your mother's womb and you are experiencing her frequencies, her tones that she is expressing, whether consciously or unconsciously. If you are able to perceive the feeling expressed by a father or another family member, you are being conditioned, and that is being impressed upon you as well. The vibration, the feeling is being impressed upon you. The information comes later, but the feeling, the state of being, you are being conditioned to that before you're even born. And then once you are born, the understanding, the information that is riding that level of frequency begins to make its way known. This is why the feeling is present. These are the thoughts that go with the feeling. These are the experiences that go with the feeling. And because this is present and it is repeating, then it must be the norm. It must be true. And unknowingly, unconsciously, you accept all of this conditioning as truth. And left uncontested, It is the life experience of the individual. Now, when you look across your planet and you see individuals who are, as you might say, living their passion, they are very close in that specific area. Understand that in that area, they may be close to expressing their most authentic self in that area, because you are a dynamic being with many, many layers and levels to your life experience. And one can be experiencing excellence here and not so great here. It is our goal to look at your life holistically and understand the dominant ideas that affect that it once they become your truths, your individual truths, which of course we're talking about the truths as they are of source expressed in nature. When they become your individual truths, they drive and support all areas of life, none excluded. But it's possible that because you are multi-layered, because you're multifaceted, because your life experience has many, many rooms, it's possible that you are excellent in one area and not so great in another. Your experience is of a certain level in one area and not on that level in another. But you can look around, sometimes easily in your entertainment arena, and you can see individuals who are in a certain area living their passion, living very, very close, expressing very, very close to their true, authentic self. And what we want you to notice is the reflection in the mirror. That which you call success is just an idea, but it is because of the authentic expression and the frequency that correlates to authentic expression. Think about a time when you were doing something that you felt good about, that you were proud of, that you were excited about, that you were breathing fully and freely when you were doing and accomplishing the thing. And then notice the feeling that you were offering while you were being that, while you were doing that. Most likely it was a big energy. Most likely it was a high frequency energy. Most likely it was full and solid because you were doing something that you knew you were good at, that you knew you were capable of, that you knew you could be successful at. And so the energy was solid and strong. There was knowing, there was certainty, and it was coupled with excitement. And now put that beside those individuals, again, say in your entertainment industry, those musicians, those artists, those athletes who are operating in their passion. And notice the experiences that are reflected, not of what they're doing, but of the energies, of the frequencies, of the vibration that they're offering as a result of their doing the thing that they are passionate about. High energy, high frequency. There's a knowing, there's a certainty. Now, here's a caveat. You also know individuals, and this is the power of your plane of existence. This is the power of your plane of existence and the power of the ideas one has been conditioned to. Individuals that you see experiencing what you call a high level of success as an entertainer or a musician or an athlete, there still are layers and levels to the expression that allows the potential experience. One has to believe in abundance to do their thing and experience an abundance of resources, opportunities, potentials. Because there are individuals out there who are on the same level as those you deem successful, but their ideas, their dominant ideas, are in conflict with what could be, are in conflict with the potential. If their value position, their self-value position, is not one that allows them to be what you call success, then it will limit them. If their belief or their dominant ideas when it comes to an abundance of resources and finances is actually a belief in abundance of lack and scarcity, then the success in that level of one who is capable of performing and delivering their passion in similar fashion to those that you are recognize easily, the dominant ideas that they hold when it comes to abundance or the potential impossibility that they can be that level of success, if it's in conflict, if they're in conflict with the potential experience, then those ideas are limiting their expression. They're in conflict with the potentials. Authentic expression is beautiful, is powerful, is strong. And if one is fully in that energy, then the reflection of that expression is beautiful, is powerful, is strong. And your imagination will show you all that entails as a potential reflection in the mirror. But one of the highest things that you can do to begin to unravel the possibility is to look out in nature. As the thumbnail says, or the title says, a flower is a perfect example of expression. We didn't say authentic expression, although we could have. A flower is a perfect example of authentic expression. A flower is wholly and completely, purely itself. Purely itself. It's not considering anything outside of itself. It's not worried about hurting anything's feelings. It's not worried about being hurt by anything outside of itself. It's not concerned as to whether the resources necessary for its growth and expansion are there or not. It's purely itself in expression. Its own authentic expression. A red rose is not concerned about the purple rose. It's not jealous of the purple rose. It doesn't compare itself to the purple rose. It is purely itself. There's no resistance. There's no conflict to it being itself purely and completely. And just off of that information alone, where are you on the spectrum or scale of being authentic? Have you looked to see what ideas are limiting you, hindering you, constricting you, muzzling you from being your full, freely expressed, most authentic self? Most have no idea what it looks like because they're so deep in condition. Now, each of you on this path, if you're here and open to these transmissions, we're sure you've come across this type of information. We're sure at some point you have peaked to see. And this is not a good or bad thing. This is about awareness. This is about where you're going. Understanding that while you are existing on your plane, The goal is to be free of fear. The goal is to be your most authentic expression in the highest frequency, because that's where you'll find it. That's where you'll find ease in being aware of your inspirations. That's where you'll find the freedom to act on your inspirations. Those things that, if you're a mature being who is human at this moment, those ideas that you know that have been lingering, places that you might want to go, things that you might want to learn and do, that have been lingering potentially since childhood and they won't go away. These are tied to your inspirations. When you are around someone who's about to make their transition and they're communicating things like, I wish I had done this, or I always wanted to do that, these are inspirations that have been with this person for a lifetime, but they were never able to act on them. Conditioning, fear. But your most authentic self, that is free of the conditioning, free of the ties to the external, is able to act purely and passionately. Now, we're not talking about you being an athlete. We're not talking about you being an entertainer. We're talking about your inspiration that leads you to be an excellent parent and to be excellent, brilliant at whatever job or position that you're excited about and inspired to. Everybody's not meant to do or be everything. That which another person is doing may not be your passion. The goal is for you to be free to live out your passions, your inspirations. And when you're doing it freely in a high frequency, you're doing it at a high level. And just as the athlete or the entertainer that is passionately expressing themselves fully and authentically, when you are passionately and fully expressing yourself authentically in whatever way that you're inspired to, you're also in alignment with everything else that's of that frequency. Abundance, health and well-being, unity and connectivity, all of these things that are the truth of you in source, you're in alignment with all of those things when you are fully expressed as your most authentic self. Beautiful relationships, they're not an issue. Resources, finances on your plane of existence, it's not an issue, because all of these things are in higher frequency. And your ability to be authentic aligns you with all of those things. Your Bible idea, and other books say the same thing in a different fashion, but your Bible idea says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all of these things will be added unto you. That's what it's talking about. The kingdom of heaven within you, finding your truth in source, the frequency, the vibrational expression that entails aligns you with all of the things that you believe yourself to desire and need on your plane of existence. The potentials are endless. The blocks are within you, in your mind's eye. The beliefs, the dominant ideas that you're holding, that you've been conditioned to, those are the blocks. Believing that the external requires your attention, that's a block, because it's taking you away from your true power, which is internal, which is mastering all of the faculties, the creative faculties internally. Because the internal is what occurs first. The external is an effect, it's not a cause. That argument was not caused by the argument. The argument was not caused by the argument. But we're talking about your ability to be authentic. We're talking about your ability to discover and express from the truth of you in source. In that space is your most authentic self. In that space is your ability to perceive and act on your inspirations. In that space is consistent alignment. In that space is the knowing of the truths of you in source that are constant, that are consistent in a high frequency, that you are taken care of, that all there is security. You are secure, that things are always working out for you, that abundance is the truth. Exponentially multiplying abundance is the truth. That's what it is in nature. Health and well-being is the truth. That's what it is in nature. Boundless, endless resources constantly renewing themselves. That's the truth in nature. It can be true for you in your life. And the ability to be authentic and express vibrationally from that place aligns you with all those things, but it requires you to work your way inward. It requires you to be acutely aware of that which is in conflict with that expression, the fears, the insecurities, any ideas that you have been conditioned to that separate you from that level of expression, having your own voice, following your inspirations, knowing that which you are most excited about, and being able to follow it, step into it with strength and passion and confidence and resolve and all of those things. And you felt those things. They're not something that you have to find. They're not something that gets put into you. Whenever you've looked at a movie or television show and you have felt the confidence, the strength of the hero, the TV show didn't put that feeling into you. It ignited something that was already there. When you felt the love between two individuals when watching a movie or a show, they didn't put the love inside of you. It ignited something that was already there. We feel like we covered a lot. But authentic self, free of fear, free of insecurity, free of hesitation, the ability to act quickly, to follow your inspirations and discover the growth and expansion that they hold as you move from one to the next, while continually expanding. If you're stuck, something's off. If you're stuck, there's misinterpretation that you're holding on to. There's misunderstanding. There's conditioning that you're holding on to. You're at a level you haven't gone deep enough to get to the root of an idea. If you find yourself stuck, if you find significant amounts of time going by and you haven't transcended an idea, you haven't got to the root of the source of the undesired expression. So, if you take a moment in your meditation and you ask yourself, who am I truly? What does my most authentic self look like? Your inner being will take you there. It will show you. If you ask yourself in your meditation, take me to the truth of me in source, your inner being will take you there. And once you know you're there, and you'll know you're there by the feeling, you know you're there by the presence, the state of being that you're holding will give you a clue. You'll feel as if everything you've ever needed was there. You can feel it. And when you're there, put that feeling beside your normal walking states of being and notice the difference. Let the truth of you in source be the model. that you refer back to, be the model that you lean on to help you decipher the inconsistencies, the misinterpretations, the falsities that you have been conditioned to. And when you look in the description, if you know you're stuck and have been stuck for a period of time, that's what the private sessions are for. If you are at a place where you know you are desiring to be more consistent and to truly accelerate this process that you know you cannot be free of, then to accelerate the growth and expansion on this journey of enlightenment that you know you can't get off of, that's what the Ascension Accelerator is for. But at this moment, we have discussed authenticity and things that are around that idea. If you have questions, if you have comments, anything that you would like discussed in these next few moments, throw those in the chat and we'll take a few moments to discuss those. Hey Daxton, awesome you're here, man. Catherine, hello, hello, hello. Cheese. Hello, glad you're here. All right. Anyone have any comments or questions or anything on this Friday? Awesome. All right. So we are thankful, extremely thankful and grateful for those of you who have supported us with your vibration, your energy, and the creation of this interaction. We're thankful for each of you who have found this recorded and allowed us to be of support in that manner. If you're not connected, connect. Look to the description. If you would like to go deeper and uncover what it means to go deeper in our ability to support and your ability to accelerate your growth and expansion. It is our intention that everyone has a fantastic weekend, a weekend of joy, a weekend of excitement, a weekend of expansion, of expanded awareness, an abundant weekend. We love you very much, and we will talk to you soon.